Alright, Shroud of the Avatar, menus, and HUD. This is a pretty quick video. Basically, you have your abilities down here. These can change between combat and non-combat. Non-combat, you can have quite a few different sets, or decks as they call them, of abilities. Non-combat, you basically have this one set, which will switch, there you go, of abilities. You can change these in and out as you choose. That's basically how that works. These are your unique abilities. Some things aren't abilities, like crafting or gathering, like harvesting this pumpkin is not something that requires an ability. You just do it. Interacting with the world, like interacting with that. Jump around. Interacting with the gate switch is not an ability. Opening doors are not abilities. So basically, sort of interacting with the ladder. Over here, it's not an ability. Okay, it's just something you can interact with. That'll be a separate video as far as interactions go. All right, so you have that's your ability bar. You have your generalized bar here. Hit points, any buffs or debuffs you have, potions you have running, things like that. If I use an ability that gives me a buff of some sort, like light, it shows up here. Tell me the duration, and then I can right-click and dismiss it if I choose to. For some reason, if you don't want the ability that you clicked on, you can turn it off. You have your compass up here and what town you are in, and then what day of the game it is, and various other, like it's a new moon, light, precipitation, calm, whatever. Also on the compass it'll show you important things, like this is the southwest gate. The south gate is back behind those things. There's a bunch of stuff in right there that you can, as you can see, the bank and guild register and taverns all like in this little section here. As I pointed out here, you have the crafting pavilion right here. There's a far gate in the back somewhere. As you see, it's kind of faded, so that's the moon tower, which is somewhere back there, is really far away. It's probably that thing right there, I guess. I'm not sure. But as you get closer to stuff, you'll see it highlighted more, so you know that you're near it or far. If it's too far, you won't see it. And again, because there's no maps in the game per se, you rely on this and what you can see to find things. You can use maps to give you an idea, but you have to find yourself on the map to find where you need to go to look. This section over here is your what skills have trained recently bar. So if a skill trains, it'll show up here, and then it'll basically show you like, oh, I trained this skill, gained experience, how far it is towards completion. You can hover over to see this right here is that it is training. You could actually change that to unlearning that skill. There's actually a number of things we'll get when I get into skill points, but I set to not training. So if it accidentally popped up, a bit like, oh, that wasn't supposed to pop up. I wasn't supposed to train that skill or use experience points on that. Because when you do something, you use your experience points that you have, your pooled experience. So you could turn that off so that you didn't waste experience points on that skill for some reason if you didn't want to. Maintaining and regular, I'll go with that when I actually go to the skills. So this is your skill section. This is your generalized bar. Add-ons takes you to the website. Help, report bug takes you to the website. Help takes you to the website. Options brings up the options. You can do that same thing with escape too. Escape will bring up the your options just like in most games. Inventory, character sheet, and window selector kind of does all of them at once. All of your in-game stuff that you can kind of mess with. So that's your basic menus, or your basic HUD layout. Various things, inventory, character sheet, skills. This is your skill trees, and then you can and then you click on the one to look at the skill tree. Okay. You have crafting and adventuring. They are both separate as far as experience is concerned. So go killing stuff and doing missions usually gives you craft or combat experience or adventuring, and crafting experience is done through crafting stuff and gathering stuff. I'll go through again. That's more detail. I'll go through that when I do the skill section. Glyphs are your abilities that you can do, not actions, but abilities. Most of these are combat related or special non-combat, like healing yourself and light and generalized helping stuff. Combat decks. This is your decks for combat. You can have a lot of different ones. So you can set those on the fly too as you're playing. So if you wanted a tanky deck, or if you wanted a combat deck, or a magic deck, or a healing deck, you can switch between those on the fly, so your character can become what you want. Now, I don't think it switches out your gear set, but it might. I haven't tried it. So you could basically on the fly switch out between like healer, with light armor, and tank with heavy armor. Again, I haven't tried that personally, but you could potentially, you could at least change the dex if it doesn't change your gear. All right, journal. This is how quests are done in this game. Knowledge journal is information. Lots of stuff that can be done with this. It says basically what you've done and what you're waiting for. Go back to the thing. Current tasks these are quests that are going on. So this is where you keep track of your quests. If you want to figure out what to do, read your quests. Actually read them and it'll tell you what to do. There's no map to show you, go here and do this on the quest. It's you read the thing and you go do it. Very old school approach. Your recipe book is for crafting. Basically kind of tells you a little bit about it if you hit that, but like smelting and then refining, or if I want to build decorations or components or blocks or walls. I actually don't have any recipes for hardly anything, so I can't really do anything, but this is your crafting recipes. And once you learn a recipe, it stays in there forever as far as I know. Chat, this is obvious chat down here. Emotes, oh cool, I have a number of emotes. I'm not sure what the teachability means. I think reteach means I can teach someone else this ability if they don't have it. Emotes you don't have, you can probably learn in-game or buy from the cash shop, I assume. Let's see. Social. Basically keep track of friends, guild members, something like that. Basic stuff. A lot of these windows will probably be changed between the game releases, but this is general stuff. Block players, pretty obvious. Block player. Compass, which is up here. You can actually turn that on and off. I'm not sure why you'd want to turn it off. Lot deeds. This shows you locations where you own houses. You have to pay taxes to keep the house there. In the cash shop, you can actually buy houses that don't take taxes, I understand. But if you buy houses in the same house in game, you'll have to pay tax. You buy it in the cash shop, you don't have to pay tax. So it lasts forever, I guess. Titles. Oh, I've got Hospitaller. An Outlander. So if you look on it, it actually shows you what it's going to look like, which is actually pretty cool if you double click, or set title, I guess, or clear titles. I haven't played with that, or haven't gotten too many. Price of Oracle. Now this, if you do PvP, someone will kill you, and what they can loot shows up here, and you can prevent them from looting it by paying a price, or if you don't pay it, they'll get the item when the timer runs out. If they steal from you, like pickpocket you, it'll show up here. So you can either pay the money to keep the item, or they will get the item when the timer expires. So even in PvP, if you lose everything, you can still get it back by paying them money to do it. That's kind of an interesting idea. Needs to be explored some more. The nearby players, this is everyone in this particular zone right now. Right now, there's only a handful of players in here, but I believe it's per zone. I don't know if it works on the world map. I've never tried it. And then item permissions. So lot, so people can use your lot or not use your lot or whatever. Alright, those are the basic menus of the game. Pretty simple. There's actually more menus, like there's crafting menus and whatnot, but I'm not going to go into crafting menus. If I double click on this, I'm just going to try and walk around. There's interaction menus with talking to people. Like this guy will sell me crafting materials. I'll go into that when I go into the buying tutorial. She is a crafting trainer, so she'll let me train crafting ability or crafting skills. I'm talking to her. So if I interact with this real quick, this is crafting, and it's like, oh, you want to craft, eh? So it goes up the menu. Suddenly, here's my recipes. I only have 2 recipes. Right now, I don't have anything, because you can tell it's all zeros, so I don't have this stuff in my inventory. If I did, though, I could click on this, and it would double click on this, or single click, I'm not sure. It'll pull these items from here and put them in my inventory, and then I can just craft however many I want within the recipe. And then when I'm done, I can take the recipe back. If I had extra pieces in here, I could hit take back, and it'll take them all to clear this section here. I think you can drag and drop the item up in there as well, but there's no reason to if you just click on your recipe, and it'll pull it here and put it here. Again, you can cycle through various recipes, different types, so you don't have to look through all of them, etc. But I'll go through that when I go through crafting. So there are plenty of other menus, but those were all specific to things. Same thing with the auction house guy, other vendors and stuff. There's lots of menus, but those are the basic ones, and they're all specific, and I'll go through them with different things. All right. Oh, the chat window, pretty obvious. You can type in chat. You communicate with NPCs. They'll talk to you, and if you click on the keywords they show, that's how you talk to them. You can either click hail or type hail if I want to talk to them.